Good morning and welcome back to Sheldon's Gardening Tips, your complete DIY guide for everything lawn and garden care. Now, today makes it 7 days since I unboxed my new scarifier slash dethatcher and I scarified this lawn. The lawn was first scalped down to dirt, then it was um, scarified, after which I spread some manure as top dressing. So it's now 7 days since that process was complete. Now today I'll be giving it a mow as well as applying some granular fertilizer. So I'm actually quite pleased with the recovery after 7 days. Now I would like to cut using the real mower, but there's some moisture on the lawn and the real mower doesn't like wet grass. So what I'll do, I'll use this, my leveling rake, to try and get rid of some of the moisture. Okay, so my reason for removing the moisture is because the real mower, if the grass is wet, the grass will just keep sticking onto the blades of the mower and the grass won't spread out. The cuttings won't really spread out, which I want to do. So that's the reason why I tried to remove as much moisture as I could remove. Now there's still some moisture, but at least it's much less than it was before. So now it's time for a mow. Now this is not yet the final height, so I intend to keep this at 3/4 of an inch. That's the height I plan to use throughout the year. Now this is much lower than that, so I'll be gradually raising the height of cut. So within the next few weeks or so, I should be at that level that I'll be cutting at for the rest of the year. So that is it. The first mow, well, the second mow since the mini renovation was done on the lawn. So as you recalled, I scarified the lawn. The lawn was first scalped, meaning it was cut down almost to dirt. It was then scalped. It was then scarified, which means I removed old dead grass roots, stems, and organic matter from the soil, which, if allowed to stay on the soil, would suffocate the lawn. It would prevent water, oxygen, nutrients reach into the roots of the plants, and that would affect how the plant looks. So I'll show you the finished product. There are still a few bare spots, but over time those will be filled in quite nicely. So this is what it looks like, the finished product. As I said, there are still a few bare spots. You can see the dirt in a few areas, but within another few weeks or so, it will be fully filled in. Now it's important that the grass is cut regularly, because as you cut the grass, cut off the vertical pieces from the grass, it forces the grass to spread laterally, and that is what will thicken up the lawn. So the scarification process, as a result of it, I have pretty much rid the lawn of weeds. I don't know how it's actually unbelievable that it removed so many of the weeds. There are quite a few pieces still coming up, but before the scarification process, the lawn definitely had more weeds than it has now. Also, within a few weeks' time, I'll be applying some herbicides to get rid of whatever weeds are present. So never be afraid to scarify your Bermuda lawn. Zoysia as well, but I would say try not to be as aggressive with the Zoysia as you would with the Bermuda, because the Bermuda is very aggressive. It will recover very quickly without any problems whatsoever, as is evident here. So the next step is to apply some granular fertilizer, after which I will water the lawn as well, because this granular fertilizer, if not properly watered, it will burn the grass. So it's important that it is watered. The fertilizer I'll be using, it's 14-28-14. So it has 14% nitrogen, 14% phosphorus, sorry, 28% phosphorus, and 14% potassium. Now it's time to apply the fertilizer. So there you have it. A micro renovation of this Bermuda lawn was done 7 days ago, meaning the lawn was scalped, it was scarified, then it was top dressed using manure. It was then allowed to recover, and it has recovered quite nicely within the 7 days period. Now today I gave it a mow using my cylinder mower and applied some granular fertilizer. Now the lawn is looking quite beautiful. As I said, there are still a few bare spots which will be filled in within the next few days or so. So what I'll be doing now, I'll be applying some water to the lawn, preventing the fertilizer from burning the lawn. So that is it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you again in future videos.